The chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted, cursed by their own corruption. They returned as the first of the darkspawn. They became upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The dwarven kingdoms were the first, and from the deep roads, the darkspawn drove us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation. Until the Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness and prevail. It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the darkspawn to return. But those called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. Too late, for I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. May God help us all.
Greetings. Greetings.
For generations, your family, the Kuzlans, has stewarded the lands of Highever, earning the loyalty of your people with justice and temperance. When your country was occupied by the Orlesier, your father and grandfather served the embattled king's land. Today, your elder brother House Kuzlan's banner in service to the crown, not against the men of Orlais, but against the bestial darkspan rising in the south.
I ask then that your troops will be here shortly.
I expect they will start by night, and we can march tomorrow. I apologize for the delay, my lord. This isn't really my fault.
No. The appearance of the Darkspawn in the south has us all scrambling, doesn't it? I only received the call from the king a few days ago myself. I'll send my eldest off with my men. You and I will ride tomorrow like the old days.
True, but we both had grey in our hair then, and we fought Orlesians, monsters.
At least the smell will be the same. I'm sorry, Papa, I didn't see you there. Hal, you remember my son?
I see he's grown into a fine young man. Pleased to see you again, lad. My daughter Delilah asked after you. Perhaps I should bring her next time. Good. She goes on about your prowess as a warrior. I think you have an admirer, young man.
At any rate, Pop, I summoned you for a reason. While your brother and I are both away, I'm leaving you in charge of the castle. Now, that's what I'd like to hear. Only a token force is remaining here, and you must keep peace in the region. You know what they say about mice when the cat is away, yes? There's also someone you must meet. Please, show Duncan in.
It is an honor to be a guest within your hall, Tyrn Kuzland.
Your lordship, you didn't mention that a Grey Warden would be present.
Duncan arrived just recently, unannounced. Is there a problem?
Of course not. But a guest of this stature demands certain protocol. I am at a disadvantage.
We rarely have the pleasure of seeing one in person, that's true. Pup, Brother Aldous taught you who the Grey Wardens are, I hope. They are the heroes of legend, who ended the Blights and saved us all. Duncan is looking for recruits before joining us and his fellow Wardens in the south. I believe he's got his eye on Sir Gilmore.
If I might be so bold, I would suggest that your son is also an excellent candidate.
Honor though that might be, this is one of my sons we're talking about. I have not so many children that I'll gladly see them all off to battle. Unless you intend to invoke the conscription.
Have no fear. While we need as many good recruits as we can find, I've no intention of forcing the issue.
Pup, can you ensure that Duncan's requests are seen to while I'm gone? In the meantime, find Fergus, and tell him to lead the troops to Ostagar ahead of me. Upstairs in his chambers, no doubt, spending some last moments with his wife and my grandson. Be a good lad and do as I've asked. We'll talk soon.
Greetings, my lord. You are the Terran's son, are you not? I am a member of Arl Howell's personal guard. The rest of the Arl's forces are expected tonight. I understand you shall take charge of your father's castle once we march. I apologize. Good evening, my lord. Good evening, my lord.
Good evening, my lord.
Castle is so eerie.
A whole darkspan army?
Good evening, my lord. Good evening, my lord. Good evening, my lord.
There you are. Your mother told me Taryn had summoned you, so I didn't want to interrupt. Pardon my manners, my lord. It's simply that I've been looking all over the castle for you. I fear your hound has the kitchens in uproar once again, and is threatening to leave. No matter how the maids try to keep him out, he always finds a way in. You know these Mabari hounds. They listen only to their master. Anyone else risks having an arm bitten off. You're quite lucky to have your own Mabari warhound, you know. Smart enough not to talk, my father used to say. Of course, that means he's easily bored. Nan swears he confounds her just to amuse himself. At any rate, your mother would have me accompany you until the matter is settled, shall we? Your mother was quite specific. Unless the castle is under attack, you get that dog before doing anything else. Her words, not mine. Before we go, my lord, might I beg a question? I've heard from several people that a Grey Warden is here. Is that true? Then, is it also true that this Grey Warden was asking after me? Maker's breath, are you certain? Can you imagine? Me, a Grey Warden? It would be everything I've dreamed of. Of course, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. Pardon my outburst.
Mother says the darkspan.
Hello, my dear boy. By chance, I am beginning to teach the choirs about your family's history.
Do we have to? History's boring.
Boys, you are referring to the Cullens, the very family in whose castle you live. Show some respect. I see you haven't changed. Perhaps it would benefit you to join our lesson. Wonderful. Oh, the Coastland history is long indeed. Where shall we start? Well, records are vague, but the Coastlands became Tierns during the Black Age. Is that familiar, child? Every day I pray to the Maker that my lessons will stick, and every day he tasks me anew. At that time, your family held only the minor title of Ban. When the werewolves reached this area, Ban Mather Coastland organized a curfew and patrols within the city. Several other local bands supported his efforts by swearing oaths of him, making him their Tiern. Well, I'm glad some of my lessons don't disappear into that yawning chasm between your ears, young man. I expect one who holds sway over the lives of others to keep a sharp mind, as does your father. At any rate, your family has held the Tournure of High Ever since before King Callan had united Ferelden. In fact, Tierna Elethea Coastland bat Callan had to maintain High Ever's independence. The Coastlands are ardent royalists now, but at that time, Calanhad was unknown and considered dangerous by many. When Calanhad's army reached High Ever, Tierna Elethea led the local bands against him. Obviously, Calanhad won. Unfortunate.
Oh, does that mean we have to listen to...
Silence! Perhaps...
We really should go after your hound, my lord, before he does something worse. Of course...
Good evening.
And my dear Bryce bought this back from Orlais last year. The Marquis who gave it to him was drunk, I understand, and mistook Bryce for the king. Ah, here is my son, along with Sir Gilmore. Tell me, Gilmore, has my pup collared that dog yet?
Not just yet, your ladyship.
Darling, do take care of that. That malodorous hound of yours is an excellent protector, but he drives Nan to distraction. I'm not asking you to travel to the moon. The kitchen is just around the corner. Sir Gilmore, see that it gets done.
As your ladyship commands.
Good. With any luck, I'll be able to feed my guests before the end of next week. Darling, you remember Lady Landra?
I think we last met at your mother's spring salon. You're too kind, dear boy. Didn't I spend half the salon shamelessly flirting with you?
Right in front of your family, too.
You remember my son, Dargon. I believe you two sparred in the last tourney.
And you beat me handily, as I recall. It's good to see you again, my lord.
And this is my lady-in-waiting, Iona. Do say something, dear.
It is a great honor, my lord. I have heard many wonderful things about you.
Don't look now, Eleanor. But I believe the girl has a crush on your lad.
Lady Landra,
Hush, Landra. You'll turn the poor thing scarlet.
As it pleases you, my lord.
I think perhaps I shall rest now, my dear. Dargon, I will see you and Iona at supper.
Perhaps we'll retire to the study for now.
Good evening, your lordship. Sir Gilmore.
I dare say I can hear Nan shouting from here. Perhaps if you hurry, you can keep her from having a fit.
Good evening. Impossible.
We'd best get to the kitchens before Nan decides to up and leave, don't you think? You know what your mother would say.
I dare say I can hear Nan shouting from here. Perhaps if you hurry, you can keep her from having a fit.
Get that bloody mutt out of the larder.
But, mistress, it won't let us near.
If I can't get into that larder, I'll skin both of you useless elves. I swear it.
Calm down, good woman. We've come to help.
You! Your bloody mongrel keeps getting into my larder. That beast should be put down. Just get him gone. I've enough to worry about with a castle full of hungry soldiers. You two, stop standing there like idiots. Get out of the way!
Oh, look at that mess. How did he even get in here? Wait, do you hear that?
Be careful! Where do these creatures come from? As you say. Very well. It shall be done. Very well. It is begun. As you say. I shall do it. Very well. It shall be done. It is begun. I shall do it.
Giant rats? It's like the start of every bad adventure tale my grandfather used to tell. Your hound must have chased them in through their holes. Looks like he wasn't raiding the larder after all. Those were rats from the Kokari Wilds. Best not to tell Nan. She's upset enough as it is. But seeing as you've got your Mabari well in hand, I'll be on my way. I'm to prepare for the arrival of more of the Jarl's men.
There he is, as brazen as you please, licking his chops after helping himself to the roast, no doubt. Look at him now. Snuck into my larder once again and makes off like a free thief, he does.
Oh, mistress, there are rats in the larder. Big ones.
Oh, looks like the dog killed them.
Oh, I bet that dog led those rats into them with. Oh, don't start with the sad eyes. I'm immune to your so-called charms. Here then, take these pork bits and don't say that Nan never gives you anything. Bloody dog. Thank you, my lord. Now we can get to work. That's right, you two. Quit standing about. Thank you again for your help. Now, if you'll just hold on a moment. Yes? Adney, get moving with those casts. And Kath, do you think you can serve that to the turn with dirt from the floor all over it?
Miserable old bat.
Old bat, am I? We've got to work double time on supper, sweep out the hearths, and no complaining. Just keeping order. That's why your father keeps me on. The good maker knows I needn't take care of you anymore. Thank you for coming to your old nanny's rescue. That blasted hound is more trouble than he's worth. He is. And don't start with me. You've gotten all you're getting. But what about you, my lord? Been keeping safe and well behaved, I hope? Good. I'm not exactly privy to your goings-on now that you're grown. Just an old nanny, never invited to your father's fancy meetings. Do you remember that bedtime tale I used to tell you, the dog that bit? Bless me, I used to tell you that one every night, I did. I thought it was your favourite. Before our fathers' fathers came down from the mountains, a warhound was born to the elder bitch of a tribal chief. They named him Haku and gave him everything. He grew up a fine, strong pup, destined to be the partner of the chief's eldest son. Young hound became arrogant, taking food from his kin and warning them, in the way of dogs, that the chief's family would punish them if they tried to attack him. Years passed, and the time for the chief's son to take a warhound came closer. Hahaku's pride swelled, and many of the people of the tribe came to the chief, quietly whispering of this dog's bullying. With each complaint, the chief saw only Hahaku's strength and pride, and sent his people away. But as his son grew, the chief watched more closely. The day might come when his boy's life would depend on this dog. If the humblest of his people, Haku, how could he? There are many kinds of weakness. You'd do well to remember that. When the day came, Hahaku sat proudly waiting to be called. But the old chief chose Hahaku's brother as his son's hound. Hahaku was shamed, but felt no remorse. So great was his rage that he darted across the fire pit and bit the chief's hand. He shouldn't have done it at all. The chief and his son struck at Hahaku, cursing him. The hound ran into the village, seeking shelter in the tents and kennels. The other dogs snapped at him, and the tribe's people threw stones at him. Before the chief could reach him, the tribe had torn Hahaku apart. Now, what should you carry from this tale? Precisely. The tribe and their dogs granted the chief and his dogs their authority. When they saw that Hahaku was unworthy, they turned on him. But you're far too old now for an old woman to be reminding you to watch how you behave, It's a story worth repeating. That's all. Be off with you then. Tell your brother farewell before he rides off to war.
Think again.
Is there really going to be a war, Papa? Will you bring me back a sword?
That sword, Oren. And I'll get you the mightiest one I can find, I promise. I'll be back before you know it.
I wish victory was indeed so certain. My heart is disquiet.
Don't frighten the boy, love. I speak the truth. And here's my little brother to see me off. Now dry your eyes, love, and wish me well.
He is as mortal as it, despite his refusal to believe.
Now, love, no need to be grim. I wish you could come. It'll be tiring killing all those darkspawn myself.
Surely your father would not place both his heirs in danger?
Mother and father have been fighting about it for days. It's too bad. I could have used you at my side. Then the Arl's men are delayed. You'd think his men were all walking backwards. Well, I'd better get underway. So many darkspawn to behead, so little time. Off we go then. I'll see you soon, my love.
I would hope, dear boy, that you plan to wait for us before taking your leave.
Be well, my son. I will pray for your safety every day you are gone.